Look at that glorious, glorious sight of color right there. So beautiful. Here we are. I believe it's tax day, December 10th. I just mailed a whole bunch of money to the county. Whole bunch of money. But anyway, I decided to take a video of this tree. Now the question is, should I get out of my car to do this? I think I will. Here we go. Let's do this. What are you looking at? What are you looking at right there? You're looking at my favorite type of oak. This is a really intriguing plant. So, I'll show you where I am here. Here is the deciduous valley oak, and it has its own story, and it's a beautiful, gorgeous thing. You can see the deeply fissured bark on it. Those are very common. This video is not about this plant, other than the fact that I wanted to demonstrate that, yeah, it gets a little bit of fall color, just a little hint of fall color. It's just not much to brag about back home. And then you have the Quercus agrifolia, the evergreen oak, which of course is evergreen, so it doesn't get fall color at all. It does get a little ugly in the fall before the new growth comes back in the spring. And then you have my favorite oak of all, this one here. You guys still wondering? Some of you know. Some of you guys know. This is Quercus kelloggii, the California black oak. I'm in Lafayette. This is the street that leads up to my house, and I live. This is a big ridge line here. Get out of the sun. Big ridge line, and it's oriented from west to east. That basically means that you have a south face of this ridge, and you have a north face. And right now we're on the north face. And on the south face, we get absolutely no black oaks at all. It's bizarre. But on the north face, we get sporadic black oak. Now, it's really sporadic here, and it gets a really big leaf, as you can see. But the most spectacular thing about this plant is the color that you get in the fall. There's really no other oak that's native to California that I know of that makes such a big, beautiful leaf. And the leaf is really tropical and shiny in the summertime. It's gorgeous. And see if I can find some leaves on the ground. Here's some old leaves. Look how big they are. That's a big leaf. In contrast, I'm about to get run over. In contrast, here is the leaf of the, let me find a good one. A leaf that's not all totally destroyed. Like, look here. No, that's bad. Here's one. Let's put them side by side. So, here's the valley oak leaf, very small. Here is the black oak leaf, very big. And of course, the black oak gets this beautiful coloration. The black oak's called the black oak. I keep jumping around from subject to subject. That's just how I roll. But anyway, you only get them on the north face over here of this range, and they're very sporadic in Lafayette here. There's some places where this is just a complete dominating element in the landscape. We're gonna trespass a little here. I see another one. See it up there? Just go until we get shot. Probably be like salt pellets or maybe buckshot. Probably won't be like full on, military grade sniper fire. But there you go. Look at that color. Isn't that pretty? So there's another one there. But they in here they only occur. In fact, you can kind of see, jumping around from subject to subject. See the trunk? I don't know if you can see that. The trunk really gets kind of a blackish color, and it's a wonderful contrast. In fact, you could really see it here. See how black that is next to the yellow? It's just striking. This is a terrible example, but the bark on Quercus lobata, the valley oak, deeply fissured and gray, silvery gray. I mean, it's beautiful in its own right. But the black oak will get more of a blackened appearance, and the bark is not nearly as deeply fissured. So there's the black oak, and then right behind it is the valley oak. See that difference? Okay. These trees, they can get probably 80 feet tall. The tallest one of all that they kind of know about is 120 feet, which is huge. This tree here is about 35 feet. It's pretty young. They occur all the way up into southwestern Oregon, all the way down. They're really predominant through the Sierra and the coastal ranges. But once you hit the Tehachapi Mountains, they still occur south of the Tehachapis, but in far fewer numbers and in more sporadic locations. But here's the cool part. The cool part is they extend all the way into northern Baja. And I think that's a really cool thing because you have all this overlap. You have the furthest northerly subtropical plants of Baja overlapping with the most southern distribution of plants like this, the black oak. And so that just goes to show that you can kind of use these plants with each other in landscapes with, native Baja palms next to black oak. Hey, that happens almost in nature. So, so you totally stand on that high ground if anyone tells you that those two plants shouldn't be together, because they are actually together pretty close in habitat in Baja. But look at this color, the yellow on the blue sky is just amazing. So there's a lot of things to know about this plant, a lot of interesting history. Apparently the Native American Indians, or just Native Americans, whatever you want to call it, to not upset people. You got to change what you call people every 2 or 3 years these days to keep up. But whatever you want to call them, they love the acorns on this. They actually like the acorns from this black oak more so than all the other oaks, so it was really sought after. What else is there to know about this? This tree is kind of known for getting really big cavities in its trunks. The trunks get really big and they kind of rot away in some places, but the tree will continue to survive. And all kinds of animals will live in the hollows of these cavities, including really big cavities. Even black bears will live in there. So if you go and you see a big cavity on a black oak, you should knock first, because it might be a black bear. It might be a nice bear. It might not be a nice bear. It might be a hungry, mean bear. So be careful there. Other thing that's interesting about this plant is that it's a hardwood, and it's a useful hardwood. There's a lot of furniture that's made from these, and it's California's primary hardwood that is harvested for hardwood purposes. But it wasn't always so. This tree overlaps and grows within conifer habitat, and the conifers are more of the plants that were sort of deemed more valuable for harvest. And there was a time, I can't believe this, but there was a time where they really wanted to eradicate this tree from the stands where it competed with conifers, because they felt that the conifers were more valuable. And the foresters in California, the official policy was to eradicate these things. And they would girdle the trunks. They would surround the trunks with something, and they would cut the bark off or whatever to stop the tree from growing and ultimately kill it. So they were actively eradicating these plants. And it wasn't until 1965, 4 years before I came on the scene, that they stopped that practice officially. It's pretty remarkable. But this plant's used, it's a wonderful shade tree. As you can see, it gets really dense in the summertime. Really beautiful, glossy tropical leaf. It's obviously incredibly drought tolerant once established because it's native here. And this particular tree has been playing the leaning game here over the road, and I suspect that its days are numbered. And I've often wondered when I was going to come home and either not see the tree here or see it blocking my path to my house. And so I also see a fresh dot on the trunk of this tree right there. And sadly, I think that might mean that it's in the crosshairs of somebody to take this thing down. So anyway, at least we got a beautiful video of the grand glory height of this tree's life, because I think it's not going to be here very much longer. But it's a great tree to use. This is another tree that we don't sell. If you call me up, I'll have to hunt for one of these things for you. Probably source one for you. But typically when you're just buying one tree that we don't have, we, see your guy? See your guy up there? Apparently these squirrels in the habitat of where these trees truly dominate, which is not here, they're really sort of marginal here. But where they dominate, the squirrels, it's their primary source of food. And the squirrels will pick these acorns and bury them in random places and forget about them. And it's those acorns that have the highest likelihood of germination and continuing to create a brand new tree. So I'm sure there's more to say, but that's all I know. That's all I remember. So anyway, Quercus kelloggii, the California black oak. If you love oaks and you want fall color, this is your tree.